Have you ever stopped to think why, even when surrounded by people, you can still feel profoundly alone? What if I told you that this loneliness, this emptiness you feel, might be exactly what you need to connect with something far greater than you imagine? It sounds contradictory, doesn't it? But the truth is, solitude can be the key to your greatest spiritual awakening. Today, I want to invite you to look at solitude in a completely different way. Instead of seeing it as a punishment or a sign of failure, I want to show you how it can be the starting point for your inner transformation, a path to deep self-discovery, and a truer connection with the divine. And who knows? By the end of this video, you may begin to see solitude as your ally, not your enemy. Are you ready to discover how? Then stay with me until the end. The hero's journey is a concept introduced by Campbell, a scholar of mythology, which describes a process of personal transformation. This journey appears in the stories we've told throughout human history and reflects the stages of growth and learning that we all face at some point in our lives. Campbell outlined this journey in distinct stages, but one thing is certain: it is universal. Every hero, at some point, receives a call to adventure, and that's where their journey truly begins. This brings us to another fascinating perspective on the hero. Carl Jung, the renowned psychologist, also spoke about the hero archetype. To him, the hero is not just an external figure, but a symbol of the individuation process, a path to becoming who we truly are. Jung believed that the hero undergoes an internal cycle of challenges, shadows, and triumphs, reflecting the stages of spiritual and psychological growth every human being experiences. This archetype reminds us that we all have the capacity to embark on our own journey of transformation, to seek our deepest purpose, confront our fears and limitations, and emerge stronger and more authentic. In the hero's journey, the hero is called to adventure, but often finds themselves alone during a phase of isolation. This period of solitude is crucial for self-discovery, because it is when the hero distances themselves from the external world and connects with their own essence. This introspective period is essential for facing their fears, insecurities, and ultimately doing the inner work necessary for transformation. In the spiritual context, this solitude is not merely physical, but an inward retreat, a temporary disconnection from the distractions of the external world to listen to the inner voice. It is during this time that the hero begins to understand what truly matters to them and prepares for the genuine journey of transformation ahead. When we talk about solitude in the spiritual context, we are often referring to a unique opportunity to connect with our deepest selves. Rather than seeing it as something to avoid or fear, we can view solitude as a blessing, a space where we can find a peace that the distractions of the modern world cannot provide. When you step away from external chaos, whether it's relationships, work, or social media, you open a portal to your essence. In that silence, you begin to hear your soul free from the noise that usually drowns out its true voice. Many spiritual masters, from Buddha to contemporary sages, emphasize the importance of silence and introspection. They remind us that it is in solitude that we find answers the external world cannot offer. Recall a time when you were completely alone, perhaps in a serene place, and felt a peace you had never experienced before. It was in that moment, far from everything and everyone, that your mind finally quieted, allowing you to hear what had been muffled by countless stimuli. Solitude allows us to access a part of ourselves that is pure and untouched by external influences. Moreover, it is during solitude that we are challenged to look within and confront what we usually avoid. We face our insecurities, fears, and the parts of ourselves we prefer not to see. Yet this is a process of purification and growth. It is in this inner isolation that the greatest spiritual revelations occur. By distancing ourselves from external influences, we begin to see life with a clarity that we previously lacked. We might notice patterns that need changing, beliefs we need to release, and even awaken to our true mission here. Spiritual awakening, therefore, is not an external event, but an internal journey that often requires us to find moments of solitude to hear our deepest being. Although solitude is often viewed with apprehension, it holds immense potential for personal growth. When faced with difficult moments of isolation, our tendency is to escape the sensation. However, if we embrace solitude, it can become a catalyst for transformation. Instead of succumbing to the temptation of external distraction, we can choose to look inward and reflect on our choices, actions, and the direction our life is taking. It becomes a time of profound reflection, free from escapism. Solitude, then, becomes the perfect setting to evaluate what we need to change in our journey. But what happens when we choose to go beyond discomfort and embrace solitude as an opportunity for evolution? The result is that solitude challenges us to leave our comfort zone, question limiting belief, and reconfigure ourselves. Often, those who grow the most are the ones who, at some point in life, found themselves alone and, instead of losing themselves, rediscovered who they truly are. Solitude becomes a mirror reflecting not only our weaknesses, but also our inner strength. For example, in moments of introspection, many people find their true calling or heal old emotional wounds that would have otherwise remained unresolved. Furthermore, solitude can be a portal to healing. When surrounded by others or external stimuli, it's easy to avoid emotional wounds we still carry. But in solitude, these wounds surface, and by confronting them, we can finally address what needs healing. This process allows us to embrace our vulnerability, creating space for healing and rebuilding a stronger version of ourselves. Solitude, therefore, is fertile ground where the seeds of self-awareness and healing can be planted and nurtured to flourish. The fear of solitude is something we all face at some point. We live in a society where the constant presence of others, noise, and distractions are almost mandatory. When solitude arises, it's common to associate it with sadness, emptiness, or abandonment. However, it's important to understand that true solitude isn't about being physically distant from others, but about being in total harmony with our own being, free from external distractions. And that's where the magic happens. Solitude doesn't need to be an enemy to fear, but a space for profound connection with ourselves. Sometimes, the fear of solitude stems from our resistance to confronting what lies within. We're afraid to face our own thoughts and emotions, to confront the parts of ourselves we dislike or prefer to keep hidden. But the great insight is that, instead of fleeing from this confrontation, we can embrace these moments as opportunities for growth. By facing our shadows head-on, with an open mind and heart, we begin to understand what truly needs healing or transformation. And this is where solitude becomes a true portal to spiritual empowerment. When we learn to be at peace with ourselves, without the need for external validation, something powerful happens. We begin to access an unshakable inner strength. Solitude ceases to be a weakness and becomes an ally in our process of emotional and spiritual self-sufficiency. When the inner hero starts to trust themselves and understands that their divine essence depends on nothing but themselves, solitude transforms from a place of fear into a space of power. And it is in this space that the greatest discoveries about who we truly are emerge. Now that we've walked through the path of solitude and the journey of the inner hero, it's clear that this state is not a sentence of despair, but a key to profound self-awareness and true spiritual connection. By accepting solitude as a moment of introspection and healing, we have the opportunity to reconnect with our divine essence, allowing our inner heroism to flourish. If you're going through a period of solitude, remember that you are exactly where you need to be. It's not a place of lack, but of abundance. A wealth of space to grow, learn, and evolve spiritually. Use this time to explore your soul, heal old wounds, release the limitations holding you back, and above all, reconnect with the greater purpose guiding you in this world. You've now glimpsed the power of solitude in your inner hero's journey. So reflect, are you ready to embrace these moments of introspection and transformation? Solitude is not something to fear, but a hidden gift, a unique opportunity to grow and connect with your deepest essence. So, I invite you to make a choice. Instead of fearing these solitary periods, use them as an opportunity to evolve. Look within, heal the wounds that hold you back, and allow yourself to awaken to a new level of consciousness. I ask you, what could change in your life if you started seeing solitude as an ally in your healing and self-discovery process? If this content resonated with you, if you feel it's time to take the next step, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue this journey of spiritual transformation. Watch the previous video. You're living. You're pretending. Change that now, to see how solitude can help you understand the traps we create to avoid our growth. Share your thoughts in the comments about solitude and how it has impacted your journey. Let's grow together step by step. Until the next video, may your journey be filled with wisdom, courage, and the connection you deserve, peace and light.